And now for our last speaker of part one, a very special person who believes in belonging, pride, and unity. Please welcome Lora Markova with The Importance of Patriotism.
Съединението прави силата. Unity makes strength, claimed an old man while trying to break a bundle of sticks in front of his 5 sons in order to prove the value of sticking together. But do Bulgarians actually believe in the power of those words? Or are we using the lesson from a 1,600-year-old legend as a reminder that Bulgaria has been lacking unity ever since? Do these words represent the core fundamental values of our nation? Or are we using them as an excuse to forget the ideal of the old man only because his 5 sons did? My name is Lora Markova, and today we're going to explore the power of patriotism and its importance on our lives. Let's begin with understanding what a patriot is. A patriot is a person who feels love, devotion, and any kind of attachment to their country. A patriot is someone who honors the sacrifices of the ones before him. A patriot mentions the name of their country with pride and dedication. A patriot believes in the potential of the nation and would work tirelessly to make it a better place for the future generations. Each one of you can also be perceived as a patriot because each one of you has inevitably developed a strong sense of attachment to our country. No matter if you find yourself extremely passionate about Bulgaria's future, or you simply enjoy eating krudovska banica, reading Kyavorov, or shouting your throat out because Bulgaria made it to the 4th place in the World Football Cup in 1994. There is a big part of you that admires and values the history, culture, and achievements of our country. And here, we should clarify, we do not refer to political achievements. These past years, there has been a growing misconception that patriotism means believing in a supposed superiority of the nation, expressed through standing with very radical nationalistic parties. Nationalism is very different from patriotism, as nationalists usually express their devotion by glorifying their country above all others. This creates this toxic mindset where other countries are viewed as a threat rather than equals. But unlike nationalism, patriotism is about love, not about hatred. It is simply about caring for your country and wanting what's best for it. It is not related to love for the government or loyalty towards politicians. Even the opposite, a true patriot may even challenge the government when they believe it doesn't act in the country's best interests. As the American author Edward Abbey has said, a true patriot will always defend his country from its government. But if patriotism was simply about criticizing the government, then Bulgarians would be undisputed world champions, and taxi drivers, the biggest patriots, which is not an award, we would choose to bestow on someone who's constantly repeating, съсипаха тая държава. The true meaning of patriotism doesn't lie in loud complaints. It lies in valuing the country yourself. Now let's delve into how being a patriot can enhance and enrich your life. You know your names, right? What is your name? Nicola. You could have been given any other name, and you would have remained the exact same person. Yet, you have become so emotionally attached to that name that you cannot imagine having another. Is that right? Just as with your name, your country of origin also becomes part of your identity. Your traditions, values, language, and most of your best memories were shaped in the country you were born in and raised. Of course, you can always change your name or place of residence, but you can never erase the consciousness and experiences from that period of your life and the essence of who you used to be. Once you realize that, you have to make a choice. You can either embrace your heritage and origins with pride, or you can distance yourself from them, losing a part of what has once shaped you. In foreign environments, the pressure to fit in can be overwhelming. You might feel the need to hide your accent, traditions, even your opinions just to blend in. And over time, that pressure can turn into shame, making you believe your background is something to downplay rather than celebrate. Patriotism, however, gives you the strength to stand firm in who you are. Despite the many stereotypes I have encountered while traveling about our country, which are, trust me, not few, I always remember that I come from the oldest country in Europe, the one with the most open hearted people, and a culture I believe is still alive. For these reasons, I am sure that every Bulgarian, wherever they live or work around the world, carry deep into their hearts their country, no matter if it's as a burden or as an armory. I have chosen to carry it as an armory, to carry it as a source of strength and pride. No matter where I am in the world or who I'm speaking to, my connection with Bulgaria gives me the confidence to never feel the need to prove myself to anyone or hide any part of who I am. But this type of confidence doesn't come from striving to fit in. It comes from knowing exactly what stands behind me and where I come from. However, the lack of such confidence and patriotism can have much more negative outcomes on the nation as a whole, rather than on oneself. With the expansion of globalization and consumerism, the national identity, mindsets, and traditions of nations worldwide are getting more and more exposed to extinction. The impact of social media, entertainment industries, even food chains like McDonald's are examples of how foreign influences can overshadow Bulgarian ones, making their heritage seem outdated or inferior. Do you know that the number of young people celebrating Halloween is times greater than the number of young people celebrating one of the most meaningful Bulgarian traditions, Sirni Zagovazni, the Day of Forgiveness? This shift shows how we can easily forget traditional Bulgarian holidays when we prioritize what's trendy over what is ours. As a result of devaluating the history and culture of Bulgaria, we begin to lose our sense of pride and belonging. And I'm not saying we should stop celebrating Halloween, give up the advantages of foreign industries, or to isolate ourselves from the rapid development of the world. No. We should, however, definitely try to stand for our culture and make a conscious effort to preserve the Bulgarian charisma. Because if we don't, nobody else will do it for us. While I was writing the TED Talk, I came across a study explaining emotional connection and patriotism among European countries. The study included the participation of Austria, Belgium, Hungary, and many more. However, Bulgaria was not mentioned. The reason behind that is that the Bulgarian national narrative is often characterized by feelings of victimhood, self-pity, and lack of confidence, perpetuated through the generations. You may be aware of the saying, the sword doesn't cut a bald head, meaning that protection hides in avoiding and surrendering to danger because of fear and disappointments. You see, disappointments are very common in our history, starting with Ottoman rule, Balkan and World Wars, communism, even democracy has its disappointments. And I understand every Bulgarian who is struggling to find that beam of light to which one could hold on to preserve their national identity. Because sometimes life can make it difficult to prioritize exactly that. But we must all remember that the numerous challenges our nation faced were overcome by the same people that are now wandering. Once there were heroes whose hearts burned patriotically every time they thought of the beauty of this country, and they weren't even allowed to call themselves Bulgarian. These people were fighting for the freedom that we now deny, fighting for the values we now forget, and the country we now abandon. The fading sense of patriotism isn't just a product of our past, it's a mindset we've inherited, and one we actively choose not to change. And that's no government's fault. It turns out we are the ones who must break the cycle. Many will leave. In 5 years, a guy will go abroad too. In 10, he will build a successful career. And in 15, he will become a father to his beautiful children. Those children won't speak Bulgarian because the guy never talks about his homeland except to belittle it and to emphasize how lucky he was to escape it. The guy's parents do not know their grandchildren. The guy's wife knows he's from Eastern Europe and never asks more. But one day, he will return for his father's funeral. Standing by the grave, he will realize he could have visited more, called more, or simply asked how they were doing. He could have come home more often, not only to see his family, but to reconnect with the place where he was once raised. But it will be too late. He will experience the regret that he didn't even try. Please, don't be that guy. Thank you.